Hey, this is Individual Perspective Podcast. I am your host, Daris D, McKinney, and we are back. Look, I have to come in here all rugged. Look, I had no time to put on my gear and stuff like that, but I just wanted to I got to go off on Charlie Kirk and just a lot of even podcasters and social influencers that call themselves like being a Trump voter. You know what I mean? They, as leaders in our own lives and drivers in our own life and ambitious men in our own life, we drive so fully into how we see our lives and how we see our goals and stuff like that. But all of us, we're not fully where we want to be at. So we're in the come up, you know what I mean? It's in the level up society. We're on the come up, but it's some people that are already on the come up and they just don't really give a shit. They kind of, for political ideology, they like, oh, I hope Trump wins, but really to them, it doesn't really make a difference either way. You know what I mean? It's not, and I'm seeing that in various of social media influencers, a lot of these guys, these level up guys and stuff like that. And I called it the level up society because all that matters to civilization is that we don't validate a person that's making $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year. You don't deserve a life, a companionship, or anything until you level yourself up to $100,000 or more. That's the culture and the society that we're breeding. That's why people want you to become part of their Patreon and their memberships and stuff like that in order for them to give you advice to level yourself up, you know what I mean? And if I wish I could find that one clip. Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because we got to put it all out there. Let's put it all out there. I think I've been saying it for a while now that we're living in a society that is so bad, is so demented, and it's like degenerate behavior, and it's just like the worst of us is the most powerful of us. It's the most meaningful of us. A Cardi B is the actual poster child for women, and women that are respected and feared. It's not Michelle Obama, because she gives in to the Cardi B's of the world. You know what I mean? She uses them as a tool to elevate herself and elevate her causes. So if no one takes Michelle Obama serious, will they take Cardi B serious? And if you do your homework, and you do the analytics to it, you find out that the people that Michelle Obama want to reach out to takes Cardi B serious. So Cardi B is the power. She's the status. She's the fantasy. She's the ambition. She's the role model in a way. I know what I'm saying is brutal, but we can't sit here and lie to ourselves. This is what the data is telling us. This is what our interaction with each other is telling us. You know what I'm saying? Now, we can act like we don't notice it, but we're only fooling ourselves. And what's the point of fooling yourself? You get what I'm saying? I mean, what do you get out of that? What do you get out of lying to yourself? That's pretty stupid. So that's first I want to start the conversation off with you guys understanding that I don't want to have a conversation where we lying to ourselves. Let's have an individual perspective. That means true, blunt, honest, objective analysis of life. And when you look at it that way, you'll understand that we are dumpster dive. Like, you know, America's America. We got cars, we got luxuries, everybody got a computer in their house, they got big TVs and everything like that, and there's luxury in it. But look at us. Look how we interact with each other. Look at our churches are the most wastelands in the world. If you're going to a church, you're an idiot. It's proven, it's a factual proven that it's a dumpster dive. Okay? Most people, you can't even do a church just for the members of the church. You got to magnify your church and do it for social media. Why? Because nobody want to be wasting their time at church. Why? Because part of they depth inside of them, they know that it's a garbage dump. It's a bunch of, like, 200 people walking around contradicting themselves every step that they take. So why would you want to be in a building or watching people just completely lie to themselves and then look at you and want to have a conversation, and your conversation with each other is based on lies, that we're in this house of God and we're acting like we really believe the word of God and the teachings of the Bible and everything like that, and the teachings of God and the ways of Jesus and stuff like that, that you know that everybody in this room, you don't. You have contradicted in some way. That's the mindset of it. You get what I'm saying? And maybe, if you're lucky, maybe you got a couple people in this building that's absolutely living and walking the path of God. You know what I mean? And I state that because you have so many people coming out advocating for, let's say, for example, let's get into it. I'm trying to not say brutal stuff, but that's the whole conversation, to say something, like, to put it all on the table. Like, when church members are supporting Kamala Harris, one is you're supporting her because she's the first black woman president. That's why you're trying to support her. Okay, so stop acting like you're not supporting her for that. You get what I'm saying? So let's stop that for one, okay? And let's go back to me talking about that. A lot of people, you know, even when we're searching the web and we're watching YouTube and we're watching all these social media platforms, and you have these people having Patreons and memberships in order to level them up so they could be part of a community and all that other stuff. But you end up finding out as advanced you get that you are your community. You are your ideology. You are your own kingdom and the head of your kingdom, and you set the rules of your kingdom, and you set the decorum of your kingdom, and you set the morality of your kingdom and the virtue of your kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And once you get to there in the advancement of it, because that's where all of you guys gonna go. If you haven't got there yet, if you really utilize the teachings that a lot of these gentlemen, they teach you guys to better yourself and everything, you find out in the end, when you're mastering yourself, that you are the driver. You're the decision maker, meaning that at a certain time, you're going to have to come to the valuation of the person that taught you what you knew. Now, thank you for the information you gave me. You kind of woke me up out of my slumber and the illusion that I was in and the slave mind that I was in. But now I got it from here. So let's network with each other. When you need me, I'll be there for you. When I need you, you'll be there for me. Why? Because I'm at a level where I'm of value to you now. So once I'm of value to you now, I'm not submissive to your will and your teachings no more, and the value of you bringing my being and my ability to me. Now I have took that teaching that you gave me, I magnified myself, and then now I'm of value, and I have so much value in my life and what I do and the way I'm going, that you see a value in what I'm doing. So now I'm of a value to you, and whenever you need to use my resources or use my value, then I'll be here to service you in respect and mutual relationship for where we come from. That's the best that relationship would be, and that's good. But you're going to have to channel yourself, you're going to have to ambassador yourself, you're going to have to master yourself. And the reason why I say that is because it's a quote a conversation that I heard Elon Musk say. Let me play it real quick.
First of all, you don't need college to learn stuff, okay? Everything is available basically for free. You can learn anything you want for free. It is not a question of learning. There is a value that colleges have, which is like, seeing whether can somebody work hard at something, including a bunch of sort of annoying homework assignments, and still do their homework assignments and kind of soldier through and get it done. That's like the main value of college. And then also, if you probably want to hang around with a bunch of people your own age for a while instead of going right into the workforce. So I think colleges are basically for fun and to prove you can do your chores, but they're not for learning.
Now, he's talking in the context of college and the necessity of college and taking college courses and stuff like that. But information you need to know, they're accessible to you for free. And I truly believe that. I think it's a certain amount of the society. You're not going to be like Elon Musk's physics, and you have to kind of have a professor that you bounce your physics off of to make sure that you're advancing your knowledge and that it works in real time and it works, or surgery, or, being a doctor or something like that. So certain things you gotta have a higher authority in that space for you to be able to know that you're executing on it in a higher thought process. Because obviously if you're advanced like Elon, even in physics and engineering, I'm pretty sure in college he would see that he was kind of more advanced than the actual teacher and the professor, because of certain things that he solves faster and complex issues that he completed and solved faster than the professor did, and then more advanced than the professor did. And that kind of let him know that whatever he was reading from his research and reading books and libraries and internet and all that stuff, and speeches from other professors and engineers and stuff like that, and physics and engineering and stuff, that the thought process that he had, it worked, and that he went to challenge it with the professors and in the labs and stuff like that, to know that his consumption and how he's kind of working out solving the issues is that he's right, because he actually, not a legend in his own mind, he actually physically went to go do his theory. He already solved the issue. He already kind of came up with solutions to complex issues, but he needed to physically put them into real existence. So he used the college, he used the professor, he used the labs to execute on that. So in his situation, or doctors, surgeons, and stuff like that, they read, they consume, they know. Oh man, I think if you do that, if you do this way, I think, yeah, I get what they're saying now. And I think you could be you could learn how to manage your hand, and you could do a certain kind of carving, much like this, where you can leave a little possibility of leaving scars and everything like that. They kind of go into the theory of it, and then they go into the labs and with the doctor that's teaching them to make sure that that what their theory was, it works in real time, in real life. But they actually are consuming the information and theorizing it in their learning outside of what their course that they're taking in college and stuff. They doing that, they knocking that homework out, but they don't even really need to go to class to knock that stuff out. They kind of know it. Give them assignment, they know how to get that completed. But I want to advance. I want to advance into some more knowledge in that situation. So they go more into theorizing or executing on a knowing of it. The reason why I say that like that is because that's just like a man that's being very isolated, or he's not as great as he could be. And for him to magnify himself, it takes us to kind of learn and be honest with ourselves, be completely brutally honest. So I say, before you can level up, before you can learn from a Patreon account or some level up coacher, mentor out there, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you are what destroys you or make you great. You are. What do you want to be great at? What do you want to do great? What is you? What's the value of you? You as a man, as a person with physical hands and ability and to do something, what can you do? What have you done enough in repetition that you say, man, I'm pretty good at that. Pretty good at this. I really, if there's one thing I know on this planet, I know this. Once you understand that, once you can look yourself in the mirror and find a way to do you in a masterful way and try to monetize that. Okay? I'm a filmmaker, so when I was a little kid, I had kids in the neighborhoods. And after we get home from school, I would have everybody set up in the school to play their part. And then I would kind of do the whole presentation, it's the show coming on, the movie coming on, to the scenes, to commercial break, and all. I used to do that when I was little, like really young. I could remember it. So, structural storytelling in the cinema presentation, it was always in me, and I was always in love with it, and I knew the actual nooks and cranny of it. I knew the nuance of filmmaking, even young. So the more advanced I got, I really brought more to it. So that's why I'm able to be in my own city when everybody wants to make a movie. They need $50,000 to even be able to be in a room to make a movie. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, oh, I made this movie for $15,000. Oh, I made this movie for $30,000. Nope. When you go look at how much they paid the actors, once you go look at how much they pay for the equipment, once you see how much they pay for food, once you see how many days they shot, just the basic stuff, you're going to see that they're already in $30,000. And then they're going to $50,000. You get what I'm saying? But they don't have to buy the equipment anymore. But it went in $50,000. But the basics that you're seeing a movie get made for is literally $30,000 to $50,000. I'll say $30,000 to $80,000 locally. You could get a good movie made for that amount. But for me, I had people around me where they had theories of doing it, but they got enough to pay the actors to be in a movie, but not me. And I'm the one with the cameras, the audio equipment, the computer, the editing. I wrote it. You get what I'm saying? I'm doing the cinematography. I'm doing everything that it would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. I'm just saying, you know what? Let's just get the movie done. Why? Because if you don't figure out a way to financially balance me out, I own the movie. Don't care. Don't care what actors got paid. That ain't got nothing to do with me and my services. You got to pay me for my writing. You got to pay me for ownership. You got to pay me to go into a contract with you to actually give off percentages. If you're too broke to do that, I'm not giving you ownership. That's stupid. So I say that because in the mindset of you have to take control and advance yourself, and it's hard. I'm not telling you it's not. It's hard. I was doing a good 9 to 5. I was making like 80 grand a year. Good. You know what I mean? But I kept feeling like, man, it got so bad when in 2018 the business was getting so bad that it was like they had it's just the turning of society. I don't even want to get into that right now. But it was the turning of society, it was turning of our culture as Americans that it came into even the company that I worked for. And I said, man, I can't, this getting too contentious up here. It's getting wild. And I'm not even really using 25% of my ability. Like, I cannot live a whole life like this. Working 18 years there, and I was doing so good. Money was good. I was paying my bills good. Everything was working good. I was making sure I helped people out when they needed financial help and everything like that. I was the one that people came to because they know I was reliable and I was stable and I was living a pretty good suburban life and I was living to be of service to other people. So I was looking at what I was dealing with the changing of the company and all the other stuff. And I said, man, I would hate to be in my 60s something. And I would hate to be on my deathbed. And I didn't even took 10 years to use my ability to really do what I know how to do. And I got high intellect to do. And to really fully use my ability as a human being. I would really hate to live that kind of life and see dying on my deathbed and I could have said, you know what? I was trying to maintain the bills. I was trying to maintain everybody's happiness. But shit, I should have took 10 years to even do me. You know what I mean? So I decided, okay, I'm going to do film nonstop. I'm not going to compromise. I'm actually giving up my all, and I'm not going to try to have my cake and eat it too, like work and try to do it on the side, because that wasn't working. You needed so much time and energy to create something good. So I quit. And then I told myself I would do a film for 3 years. I wanted to go and help people, because in Detroit, a lot of independent filmmakers, they were making a lot of movies. They were spending money. And I was like, man, y'all shooting this stuff with red cameras, Black Magic, great cameras and stuff, great high industry stuff that Netflix is using. And I'm like, y'all stuff look like an iPhone, worse than an iPhone, because I can make some beautiful stuff with an iPhone. So what's the point? What's the point of like having all this equipment and having ability to go shoot real movies and with cast members and stuff, and then your stuff look crappy still? It looked like Cousin Pookie helped you make a movie. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna come into this local industry, and I'll be what they call a digital imaging technician, where I kind of come in and guarantee that you guys setting the cameras right. The look of the film is and exposure and the colors and how you're framing and all that stuff is good, and I'll help out with the looking of the film to make it be able to convert over to the industry a little bit more easier, where HBO wouldn't be wouldn't mind to even put you on a platform because it looks like the things that they're doing. It's got similar presentation and quality control to it. And then I got into it and I seen how egomaniac these people was. Then I seen like it was one guy we was helping out and he cared about him being a director so much that he would eat up 70% of a day making himself like getting himself ready to even want to do it. The ideal of it is cool, but to jump out of bed and be able to be on a set and be able to work the 12 hours to 14 hours of production and wanting to be even just a director and just be there to be disciplined and let's knock stuff out. It would take him like 6 to 7 hours to start his day. So for me, I'm a person where I like to start shooting at 7, 8 in the morning. Like, go. And if I'm shooting nighttime scenes, I'll go all the way to 5 in the morning before the crack of dawn so I could get those great scenes in the area and the streets and all that stuff. That's how disciplined I am. But he was like very much like just like you'll meet up with him, come to his house to grab the equipment and everything like that. But it would take him to 1 o'clock to actually leave the house. It's like, dude, we ate up 4 or 5 hours now. Trying to get you out the house. Trying to get you to want to do this. And then 3 or 4 o'clock when we setting at the scene to set up. And then we shoot. But daylight, you only got 2 to 3 hours. Additional to that, you don't got the other set ready. So now it's like, that's how he was. So that ended up happening that year. So at the end of that year, I'd say, you know what? Let me write this movie because I had a gentleman partner that he was kind of bugging me to write a movie and make a movie like Blair Witch Project, something simple and easy. And I call myself making something simple and easy, but I made a very, 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 very complex film. It is extremely complex. Took me so I went out to shoot that movie and then some situations happened. I got about 80% done with that movie and I told myself, we're breaking continuity and everything. Nah, we got to shoot this again. Like, that's scary because you're in a situation where this is not Hollywood, but you're using rules of quality control like Hollywood. And most people in the city, to get something put on Tubi, they'll just throw something together, whatever it's at, just put that together and just throw it on Tubi. But not me. I'm kind of saying, hey, if we're lucky, we're only going to be able to kind of get one movie made. So make a long story short, I did about, I'll say from that moment on, I did about 6 to 7 projects I did. And I always felt like I had to do movies for I had to do a $30,000-$40,000 movie for $2,000. I had to do a movie for $5,000. You know what I mean? I had to do a movie for $15,000, but it cost $84,000 to actually do the movie. But in order to get something done, I had to try my best to do that movie that I had in mind for $84,000. I had to do it for $15,000. I had to do a $50,000 movie for $27,000. You know what I'm saying? And why is it like that? Because in order to do it for that cheap, I can't get paid for my equipment. I can't get paid for my service. I can't get paid for my writing. I can't get paid for nothing. So if I'm not going to get paid for nothing, then I have to say, well, get the movie done because you own it. So at least do what it takes to get the movie. It's not about your everyday life and how you going to eat, how you going to pay your rent, how you going to take care of yourself. You got to fight through that and figure out some way around that and the way through that. Because if you're going to do all this stuff and then just get it done, at least you own it. It's your movie. It's your film. You wrote it all. It's copyrighted to you. Everything you do the production, everything is your footage. It's your cameras. It's your everything. At least you got the movie done. Figure out a way how to get funding at the end of the production. But even at the end of the production, it was like penny pinching trying to get, like, you know, for me, I'm a person, I shoot like Hollywood, literally. You did those big old magazines that you see them put in the Panavision camera or the IMAX camera. Those are like 9 minutes of cartridge. So think about that. If those are 9 minutes of cartridge in Dark Knight, that's got shot with a 35 millimeter film and Panavision camera, which that's film, it's not digital. It's all film. If every cartridge of film is 9 minutes, then just think of that. That's 2 hours and 40-minute movie. That means that they shot about 10 hours. Every 9-minute cartridge costs about up to $100,000. Yeah, you get that? So $100,000. So 9 minutes times 10 hours. How much would that be? That's how much money a movie costs in the industry way of doing it. So for me, I try to pick cameras and certain structures of the sensors and everything like that to make sure that I'm getting as close as possible to the quality of that 35 millimeter film quality. And then I want the full range of it. And that's what I try to edit in my own little world. So I'm actually going out to shoot independent films, but I'm bringing footage back that needs like multi-$100,000 systems in order to get it into the right situation to present it to you guys in a very cinematic value. I say that because that's just a little bit of my ability that I'm communicating. And that was dormant. Or at least I minimized my activity with it for 20, 25 years in order to be the breadwinner, to be the person that could pay for dinner and take care of my friends, take care of family, if I need to and everything, take care of my household and all the other stuff. And I gave that all up in order to do film. And by this time, from 2018 to now, at this time, I was supposed to only kind of have maybe did 1 or 2 movies. And I actually walked away with about 6 of them, I could say. 6 to 7 movies. That's how wild I was. So now I'm putting them into presentations so I can put them on the streaming platform as we speak. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I really don't like what happened in this election or what's happening in this election. Trump foreseen a lot of the things that he went through from 2016 to 2020. And you can see Trump made phenomenal decisions. He partnered up with Elon Musk for the efficiency department of the government. He partnered with Tulsi Gabbard, Bobby Kennedy, Vivek Ramaswamy. These are some hard-hitting, high-functioning people. This is the people he's relying on, that he wants to trust to help him, like, not have people in his staff that are traitors, that are there to sabotage him. He's seen even his family, friends, and like people that he thought that was going to be on his side, he's seen them all backstab him because of the jealousy of him being the president. So Trump did every single thing right this time around. Just Trump himself, his personality, who he is, brought 10 to 20% extra minority, like, let's not bullshit, brought 10 to 20% more black people to him. Just him being Trump did that. not no narrative, not no political views, on him being who he is, an honest person that's fighting against the system. In addition to that, Hispanic voters, 20 to 30% Hispanic voters came to Trump. It's literally like, it's like the woman vote. It's 40-50, 50-40. That's how powerful he did. So he magnified when they all were saying, when Nikki Haley, when Ron DeSantis, when Jeb Bush, when every Republican that thought Trump was a bane on the society, the bane of the power of the Republican power. You're turning off white voters, you're turning off black voters, you're turning off Hispanic voters, you're turning off women. He turned that all around. And just by him being who he is and fighting through everything, he brought black women on. He brought white women on. He brought Hispanic women and Hispanic men on. He brought black men on. You get what I'm saying? He brought people that are longtime Democrats, people that don't vote for nobody but Trump. He brought them all in. And at the least we could say, the amount of voters that he has that's devoted to him is the same amount that Obama and Biden and Kamala they had. They don't got more voters than him. They don't got more approval than him. You get what I'm saying? I don't care if they say, "Oh, boy, sure, her favorability is better than his favorability." Who cares about what the pollster says the favorability is, when the numbers is saying he's just as much getting voted for as you are? What's the difference? The difference is the cheating factor. The ability to be able to cheat. You got some of the most shady stuff in the country going on at the ballot box. Okay? It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I got an episode previously that I talked about this. I don't know if you guys seen it. Maybe I'll play a couple clips to kind of prove my point to you. And that might help out a little bit if I do that. So give me a second. Let me look that up. Okay. So my point of saying this is because I'm pretty upset about Charlie Kirk, Tpusa. I want to say this, Charlie. And I said this in a few episodes, and this is one episode that I went off pretty wild about what I felt about Tpusa and TP Action and Turning Point Action. And I didn't even, I kept it in private. I didn't put it as public on my YouTube page because I felt I didn't know what the data was. And I somewhat still don't know what the data is, but I'm pretty sure enough to communicate this episode. So now let's go into a recent conversation that Charlie Kirk had with Steve Bannon. And I'm going to walk you through where my issue is.
Charlie, you've done such an amazing job all over the country, but let's focus on Arizona. Charlie.
He told him that he did such an amazing job all around the country. And I see Charlie Kirk does a lot of panels and he does little rallies and stuff, but Trump don't need him to do rallies. Trump don't need that. Trump don't need your help to do rallies. Nobody does rallies like Trump. He don't need you. You don't do him no favors by you doing a rally and then he comes to you on your rallies and stuff like that. That's irrelevant. What's your ground game, dude? Trump put Charlie Kirk ahead of the ground game. He did this years ago. So this ain't about this year. At the least, he was greenlit and funded up the wazoo since January at the least.
Charlie, you've done such an amazing job all over the country, but let's focus on Arizona. We have to put that away. What's the latest?
Today, we have a very ambitious plan in Arizona. We have 6 Super Chase events here, which we are going to be chasing ballots all across the state of Arizona.
Yeah, it's going to be like this, Charlie, because I'm about to trip. Okay. Charlie, his organization is called, his company pretty much, called Turn the Point USA. Okay. So TPUSA. His get out the vote stuff supposed to be TP action when he's kind of doing get out the vote and actual communication. He's talking about 6 events that he's about to have in Arizona. He lives in Arizona. His headquarters is in Arizona. They've been hitting Arizona colleges up like crazy just to even make content for their platform. I could give a shit what you got to do in Arizona. We bet not lose Arizona. Trump bet not lose Arizona. You live there. Trump had people that gave you that became donors to TPUSA because you were magnified. Now you're frustrated. You come on here, you got a kind of like this. That when I watched this clip already, and he was pretty aggravated about something that's going on in his mindset about how shitty he's doing us to get out the vote in comparison to the Democrats. That's sad because Trump relied on you. If you couldn't handle it, if y'all couldn't handle it, he needed y'all to, and I'm sure there's other people out there doing it, and I don't know. That's what I'm kind of, this episode is more of a, tell us what the hell you've been doing for the last 4 years. I know what Trump been doing. I know what Trump is doing. If Trump wins this election, it ain't because of TPUSA. I'm telling y'all that. It ain't because of Brannon, like Steve Bannon. It ain't because of them. It ain't because of them. It ain't because of the War Room or Charlie Kirk podcast or TPUSA. We know that for sure. It ain't y'all. If it is, give me the data. Where can I go see the data? Where can I see what the hell y'all doing in each state? How many people y'all have on the ground getting out the vote? Getting out the vote is not to go find some mythical, illusional people like, hey, go out and try to find 5 people to go to the ballot, to the poll offices with you. Go try to find 10 people to go to the poll office with you. That ain't, dude. I interact with, I could say about 6,000 people, literally. Interact with 6,000 people, told them my ideology, told them how I feel about things, and communicated my point of view of who should be elected as president and communicated with the next person. Also fighting 100 people, 100 or 200 people in my own social circles, my family members, the stitches of them, everybody, friends and stuff like that, and going back and forth and interacting with them to see like where they mind at and who they voting for and why they voting the way they voting. So the data they fight in this election to get somebody around you to think like you do and to move like you do, I think I got what I got and who I got out that I can get from my social circle, and it's more than one person. Okay. It's more than myself. So I'm way above that. So that's easy work. That's easy work. Especially for people that's kind of communicating. They're interacting. Spouses and stuff like that. You kind of interacting with that. That ain't the fight, dog. The fight is how many ballots were requested, mail-in ballots were requested. How many registered voters in the actual city or state? Based on those numbers, you only could turn in the amount of registered votes that are registered. So if it's 10 million people in Michigan and 7 million registered to vote, then it's only could be 7 million voters. That's it. 7 million voters. Now you got to to talk to those 7 million voters. And you got from January to now to do that. What the fuck did you do? What did you do? You ain't got to go to California and talk to 43 million people. You don't got to go to New York and talk to 20-something million people. Because you go there if you got the room, but they already decided blue. You don't got to go to Texas. You get what I'm saying? You got to go to Michigan. You got to go to Wisconsin. You got to go to Pennsylvania. You have to go to Georgia. You have to go to North Carolina. You have to go to Nevada. You have to go to Arizona. And the people that lives in those states are in 10 million, 14 million, 8 million, 5 million. So please explain to me why you're frustrated and you need us to go out and put a team together at the last minute. And our team, your team, is transformed to us. We're your ground game. We are your ground game. Unbelievable.
And I just want to tell your audience right now, if you are not actively doing something, not just attending a rally or waving a flag, to go chase ballots or get people.
Hey, don't talk about Trump supporters, dude. The data's out, nigga. Excuse my language. I gotta cut that out. Sorry. That's bad. I don't want to say that. I'm so upset. I apologize for saying the N-word. Cutting that out. The data's out. You don't have to. I'm so bugged out that I got that expressive. I apologize. I'm going to cut that out. Okay. The data's out. Republican and Trump supporters mailing ballots. They're receiving ballots. Them in-person early votes is already showing you eye of the tiger. The voters are voting for them. Voting for them. Mythological voters that you're talking about that's inside your head that your frustration is about, they ain't got nothing to do with us. When the 2020 Trump supporters came out, you know who hurt us? People like you. Evangelicals. A moral compass in sanctimonious evangelicals. That's what hurt us. Because you try to compete yourself and value yourself to Trump's past life with having 3 wives, him having a Miss America pageants, and him having a verbal, like harsh rhetoric that he says verbally. And we allowed the media and the Department of Justice to take his rhetoric, his playboy persona, and him having 3 wives, and we turned him into a rapist, a sexual assaulter, a guy that hates women, and all this other stuff that got no factual proof to it, no evidence, no nothing. And the only time you heard of this stuff is when he ran for president and to try to demonize who he is. People talk about the Central Park 5, but they didn't read the article. I have that article. I read it out, and I actually did a video, so I don't have to have the audience read it. I just put it on screen, and they can hear me read it. But I'll do that, talk about that some other time. To make a long story short, Trump, if you would have told me if you told me 20 years ago Trump was probably the cleanest, legit person in this country, I would have told you hell no, because I would have not known. He gotta throw elbows at some very hardcore people. Trump problem ain't no wannabe a real estate mogul. His problem is Blackstone. The most powerful bankers and powerful real estate moguls in this country. That's who Trump, because they want his land. That's his problem. That's who he gotta fight. That's who he gotta keep up with. That's who he gotta make sure his company is stable to fight with. That's his problem. Not no little people. The big boys. That's where his fight always been. But doing that, every dime the IRS audited him for. Every dime. Every dime that he ever had, New York audited him for. Looked at his books and everything. Got subpoenas on him and everything. They went into his books way before all these new investigations came, and they found him innocent. That they couldn't even investigate him. He was clean. New York had to actually put a statute into law in 2022 in order to indict him on something. So Trump, he did every single thing he was to do, and still he came into the 2024 election being more popular and more valued by black people, Hispanic people, all different demographics, 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds, all the way to 65-year-olds. He did his part. He's out there losing his voice. He out there exhausted, killing himself to win this country back. His voters, they are aggressive out there. But what is lacking? Intelligence. Something that we're supposed to get from the war room. Something we're supposed to get from TP Turning Point Action. Something we're supposed to get from like all you Dan Bongino, all you podcasters, all you guys getting fully loaded on his movement, on the fight that he's having. The bickering you could do on your podcast is in the memberships y'all can get and all the stuff y'all can get, and y'all got no influence. Everybody that's voting for Trump is people that's voting for Trump. Because we seen what the evangelicals did in 2020. We seen what the evangelicals did in 2016. We always had a problem with the Tea Party people. We always had a problem with the evangelicals. Always. Always was the thing that was going to stab us in the back. Trump went to actually replace all of them. Now, he did his part. He was loyal, and he's always loyal to Christians and evangelicals because he feels that he's in the hands of God now. That's why you always see him praying with people, letting people pray on him and all that stuff like that. He's giving himself over to something bigger than him. But what you guys doing? You guys allow evangelicals. You guys allow yourselves to come on air talking about Christianity when we're in the most dog fight for this country. We in a vicious fight for this country. Democrats are physically doing stuff to destroy you and your friends, your family, and your side. They're physically doing something to destroy what we're fighting for, to destroy Trump. It's not talking no more. It's been physical for 2 years now. 2 years, 2 to 3 years, it's been physical. 4 years, really. It's been really physical, where it's not about rhetoric, it's not about talking, it's about physically putting people in jail, physically killing people. That's what the Democrats been doing to the Republicans, the evangelicals, the Trump supporters. They physically put things into play now to destroy that movement. And now what y'all doing? I'm watching all these they burning up ballot boxes. There's stuff in ballot boxes still. There's footage out there, real footage out there. They're doing the most corrupt stuff. You got Pennsylvania doing some wild stuff about the county. You got Fulton County doing wild stuff already. The early votes were so overwhelming that they had to put cheating protocols into play early. And with y'all, we don't see it. It takes nothing for TPUSA, for Elon Musk, for any of y'all to put cameras on all the ballot boxes inside of Washington. I mean, inside of Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and tell the government you're going to do this, and have documents showing that they refused it. What did y'all do? Y'all leave these things open, these ballot boxes naked, where we don't see no cameras on all the ballot boxes in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, and Arizona. Come on, dude. How do you do this? How do y'all do this? Y'all supposed to be the most highly educated and intellectual people. And what's the documents that say that? How are they managing the chain of command? Not the chain of what they call that? Like, who has watch over the ballot box? What is it? I don't know. I need you to school me. I'm ignorant on this. The audience is ignorant on this. I'm so upset because he's talking about you don't wave a flag out. Don't go to attend to Roddy. Don't talk about the support of the Trump supporters. They did enough. They voting for him. All we need is them to vote for him. They did their part. Organization is the people that stands up and say, give me $100 million. Give me this amount of money. Give me this $10 million. Make my life good. Make my studio good. Make my apparatus good. Make me a millionaire. Make my family a millionaire on the idealism that we reach everybody that needs to be reached on our side. And then when you're given that opportunity, you're enraged to transform Trump supporters into your ground game? No, you go find your ground game. You had 4 years. What's your excuse?
Attending a rally or waving a flag to go chase ballots or get people out, you are handing the White House to Kamala Harris. No,
you are handing the White House to Kamala Harris. We did our part, and we still are. And we're fighting people in our life day to day. You don't got a Trump supporter out there who's keeping it to himself, to people that's in close proximity to him. He's talking to a lot of people. I would say I'll average about 10 to 20 people he's interacting with to try to get somebody on his side. You don't have to. That's low IQ stuff, and I know you.
Steve, we need every single.
I know you highly intelligent. You don't have to talk to the people that's watching War Room, the people watching Charlie Kirk. They already done. They doing it. What are you doing to talk to people that ain't watching your fucking show? That's where your ground game. That's why they call it ground game. You're supposed to be talking to a whole nother demographic of people. People that not gonna sit down and watch your stuff on YouTube or Rumble and all that shit. What the fuck do you got to show for all the millions of dollars that was given to you to execute in this situation this year? And you had plenty of time to set this up. You asked him for something you supposed to already have set up. All we supposed to hear is, hey, our people are already on the ground. I'm getting good information from the people on the ground. We got this amount of people, this amount of voters matching what was on the actual registration cards and everything, and we got this much. We know we about to win this one. We know we about to win. We got this much higher than the amount that they have on register and everything like that, or voters that they have doing their ballot boxes and all that stuff like that. Look, this is how much we need to make sure that we good. You coming on, dude. What did you do? All I can say is, what did you do with the time?
One of the War Room Posse to be part of the surge. This is a call to action. This is, you need to download the Turning Point Action app, knock on your neighbors' doors. You need to make phone calls. You need to go do the work.
Why you assume that we didn't knock on our neighbor's door? Why you assume that we haven't already talked to these people? Why you assume that we ain't trying to talk to as much people we already are trying to talk to? Why you assuming that the us winning is the bullshit you talking about. No, it needs to be something more. You need to have people physically on the ground getting paid to actually go touch these people. To go know who's voting. Like, okay, if you're in Detroit, if you're in Michigan, you know Detroit is something else. You know that Detroit downtown area is something else. So that means you need to have some major people in Detroit saying that they're going to vote for Trump. Well, how many people did your people, Turning Point Action, ground game crew, how many people have they talked to and said that they're going to vote for Trump and they're going out to vote for Trump? Don't get upset because everybody didn't go out to vote for Trump in the early vote. We ain't stupid. A lot of us ain't stupid. I'm not saying stupid. A lot of us, we don't trust we don't trust this country. We don't trust you. We don't trust nothing about this country. Where we would hand our ballot into a drop box. We would leave our ballot where it can't be scanned. Even that's corrupt. Cause look, you guys. Let me take a moment here. I want Trump to win. I'm doing a lot to make sure Trump win. I'm doing this video just to kind of put my point of view out there. I do gotta go cut that N-word out because that was stupid. You get what I'm saying? But we doing our part. We doing our part, but we are not. I'm not doing no early votes. I mean, if it's got a scan, that's good. I'll do that. You know what I mean? But I think that's given. It's just hard for me. I don't trust them, so I will be there, and a lot of us gonna be there on Tuesday. I think people gonna get write-offs. They're going to actually get write-offs if they got to for their jobs to make sure they place that vote for Trump. But who's in there watching those polling stations? Who's in there like fighting to make sure there's enough eyeballs and hands on those ballots instead of a bunch of hatred, angry ass, bitter women? Seeing all those Trump's votes and they manipulating them. We got human beings that we're relying on to count the vote fairly. The only way that you could rely on a human being to count the vote, you have to have an opposition to that human being in the same parameter. So you got a Republican counter in a Democrat counter. Democrat counter counts theirs, the Republican counts theirs, and vice versa. And then they're notating and what's the amount that they're doing. It validates the amount of what each other said, and they have a monitor watching them do it. That's a Republican and a Democrat. If you don't got that by now, we're in trouble, dog. And yeah, I'm not only blaming this on Turning Point, but I'm also blaming this on RNC. My only problem is Charlie Kirk keeps coming online and he keeps acting like it's our fault that he don't got a ground game, that he's not executing on the ground game. So now I gotta go scour the internet to try to find out what is the communication about the ground game. And then you got Fox News saying Turning Point. You got Turning Point saying Turning Point. You got Steve Bannon saying Turning Point. You got President Trump saying Turning Point. And now you want to say, oh, well, if it's not my fault, I won Arizona. You supposed to win Arizona. Unbelievable.
Right now. This is not the time to be passive. This is not the time to just roll over and hope things.
Ain't nobody passive, dog. Stop talking. Don't talk down to us, dude. Save that energy for your ground game crew. Oh, you don't got one? You faked it? You a liar? Are you a poser? These are questions.
get better. No, this is the time for action, action, action.
No,
so we have 6
you
events that I'm
get
doing
action.
today in Arizona. We have 3 tomorrow and 4 on Monday, but these are super chase events, Steve. These are not just long lectures where I'm going through macroeconomic policy. We bring people in from the neighborhood and then we deploy them out to go chase ballots. Early voting has been extended in Arizona. It now continues through the weekend, in-person early voting, which is a huge win for us, which has not happened in years past. There are 400,000 registered Republicans that have ballots right now in Maricopa County that have not submitted them. 400,000, Steve. This is why I said no to going to Pennsylvania.
So funny. It's an early vote, dude. Early vote, dude. If it's 400 people or they're requesting mail-in ballots and they haven't requested back, I'm pretty sure it was like 1 million people that requested them or something like that. And some of the people actually returned their ballots back. You know what those other people's gonna do? They're gonna go in on the day of. Why? Because they're watching all the shady stuff that's going on in the drop boxes and the early votes, and they seeing all the malice, crazy, shady stuff that's going on. They're watching that, and they're hesitating on going on how they're going to vote, because no matter if you request your ballot, as long as you don't turn it in, you can actually go to the poll station. You know this. So why are you acting like that's not part of the equation that might be the reason why people haven't returned their ballots? This weak shit right here that you're talking about. Crazy.
Pennsylvania, I said no going to Michigan. This thing is not over. We've done well in early voting, but Steve, we have to deliver this, because here's the thing. As you played in the cold open, if they do a bunch of crooked stuff in Philadelphia and all of a sudden Pennsylvania falls.
Ain't no if, you idiot. They already doing it. I'm disappointed. I'm going out of what I want to say about, because I like Charlie Kirk. I really do. Just call him an N-word, and I just call him an idiot. I gotta cut both of those because I don't want those to be in perpetuity forever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just getting very upset as he talks. I'm getting triggered as he talk.
We need Arizona, Wisconsin. All of a sudden, Arizona becomes the most important state in the country.
Yes,
and we have said that this entire
Everything.
time. You know that, Steve. It's my obsession. I love this place. It's my home. We've been going really hard. And again, everyone in the posse needs to go do something today. Not just watch something, not just see it from afar. You need to go do something.
Everybody's the nature of the situation. Most likely, people gonna do something. They're gonna talk to their family members. They're gonna talk to their friends. They're gonna talk to their neighbors. They're gonna talk to any extensions of them. They're gonna probably walk by a person with a MAGA hat on, and they talk to them, or they're gonna interact with people with a MAGA hat on, or something that you just never know. They're gonna interact with people, and then that's gonna be them firing up the interaction zone. It's going to be very aggressive for the next couple of days. I don't think you need to chastise or trigger or insult Trump supporters. I think they're out there. I think they're innately going to come through with whatever they can come through. But that's not what we should be relying on. We should be relying on Turning Point USA, any other of you guys that's out there doing ground game or whatever the hell y'all supposed to be doing. Y'all supposed to be finding out how many registered voters there are in the state. How many registered voters request for a mail-in ballot? How many got mailed back in the mail-in ballot? Mail-in ballot got returned. How many of those people signed themselves on as a Republican? How many signed themselves as a Democrat? How many signed as independents? How is the causes and the actual the policies in that state is influenced in certain ways by the independent vote? That would let you know the probability of the pollings are accurate or not. Now, I'm pretty sure they're smart enough to know this, but even you guys are trying to con your viewers and use their ignorance against you. And I gotta be the person to come on and say, dude, what are you talking about? We need data from what you doing. Don't worry about what we doing. We good. We're the Trump supporters. We're the voters that came out every single election for Trump. We've been fighting. If we voted for Trump 3 times, If we're coming out of the woods and the caves and voting for him just because it was him, and we don't like no other contender, no other candidate, we don't ever go vote. If that's what's going on our side, which the data says that's what's going on our side, we don't need you to chastise us about devotion and integrity and aggressiveness in our community. We don't play that weak stuff. Our spouses better vote for Trump. Our family better vote for Trump. And if they don't, we got a problem forever. Why? Because I'm telling you, the effects of this election is going to hurt people forever. Forever. If you're in your late 20s, if you're in your 30s, if you're in your 40s, you're about to get hurt for 20 years, 20 to 25 years at the least, once Kamala comes in and her status comes to play. Everybody can't be a winner. You got to make sure that everybody stays out of each other's way. Look at what has, you know why the economics and the situation been going on with our country for the last 4 years like this? Because everybody's in self-preservation mode. This is a capitalist country, meaning that we take risk on each other. What does that mean? I make a product, you pay for it in order to magnify me. So I can pay for something else to magnify somebody else. That's our economy. I give a momentary or a value to you, you pay for it, it magnifies what I'm doing, make me magnify what I'm doing, that needs me to extend myself to other people to help me out, to magnify to what they're doing. And it's so on and so on and so on. That's how the capitalist structure works. I don't know what this passive aggressive conversation you having.
Give me, and Charlie, I want to hold you through break, but give us the app right now. I want everybody to download the app. Where do they go?
It is the Turning Point Action app. It's called TP Action in the App Store. You can also go to tpaction.com.
I'm gonna see if this app tells us some data.
It's really simple, everybody. This is the call to action, and it could be as simple as go wear the MAGA hat, go into a diner or a restaurant, and talk to 100 people. Ask if they have voted. Have you voted? Have you voted?
You got a lot of nerve, man.
You
got a lot of nerve to tell people to go talk to 100 people and ask you have you voted? 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 Dude, the likelihood that 90% of the people that can vote ain't voting in this election is very slim. And if that happens, it better be on their side, not ours. I'm telling you, 2020, this is what I'm telling y'all, man. 75 million people voted for Trump in the last election. That's every single person that voted for Trump in 2016 and more. And more. I think he's going to do, I don't think, for me, this is my opinion, I don't think the 75 million was real voters. I think they gave him about 3 million or so just to kind of cover up the 7 million that they probably put into the game to push Biden into 81 million. That's what I feel. Okay? You can't just put only Biden stuff in there. You got to put some for Trump in there. But they executed well. So they let me know that they got a hell of a plan set for this one, because that worked. If you don't believe that they cheated, we about to lose this one, because that moral compass, that evangelical Christian foolishness is what's gonna hurt us, because you think it's unseemly that they will be that crooked. The lawfare should have told you that. But going back to what I'm saying, for you to say, go walk up to 100 people and act, no, that's you. Where's your people to do that? We got to work a job. We got to keep a roof over our head. We got to figure out stuff in our own lives. And we got to fight the people we already doing that to. The hundreds of people, the people in our extensions area, and the people that we dealing with in our everyday movement that we doing on the street or when we go to the gas station and everything like that. We already in that mode. What are you doing to give us data? What you doing? What Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action is doing? Okay? I'm going for this this app because I want to see it. So, TP Action, right?
We need to drive record turnout. And if we do that, and Steve, this is what's so amazing. Kamala is drive record turnout. And if we go wear the MAGA hat, go into a diner or a restaurant. It's really simple, everybody. This is the app. It's called TP Action in the App Store. You can also go to tpaction.com. This is really simple, everybody. This is the call to action. And it could be as simple as go wear the MAGA hat, go into a diner or a restaurant, and talk to 100 people, ask if they have voted. Have you voted? Have you voted? Have you voted? Have you voted? We need to drive record turnout. And if we do that, and Steve, this is what's so amazing. Kamala is still in a persuasion matrix. We are in a turnout matrix.
Yes.
Kamala needs to try to convince voters to vote for her. We have already won the debate. Yeah. Can we now win the turnout?
Charlie Kirk, extraordinary work. Before you punch, I know you're in Arizona. You're going to deliver Arizona. Tell me your thoughts on Pennsylvania.
Yeah, look, I hope we deliver Arizona. If we don't, if we surge, we can do it. Final on Pennsylvania, it's Project 3 million, Steve. We need 3 million Trump faithful to show up on Tuesday. I've run the numbers every single way imaginable. They have not built the firewall. But look, Steve, you know what kept me up at night last night? I was running projections if all of a sudden people just kind of stay at home and we have a slothful Tuesday.
Hey, that's a hell of a thing for you to say because it don't show that in the early vote. It showed that people are aggressively going out. The only reason that we seeing that people are not voting right now is that they waiting to actually vote in person on Tuesday. They want to vote for some reason. They just like me. I'm not an anomaly. I'm telling you, I'm like a lot of people. They waiting to physically do it on Tuesday. Because that's satisfactory to them. They don't really, we are the true loyalists that we don't trust this country. We don't trust the system. We don't trust Turning Point. We don't trust, you guys have sold yourself to your enemy's way of thinking and your enemy's way of movement. Hopefully that works out. Otherwise, we just hurt ourselves. We just gave them all our votes and they can manipulate our win. Now, I'm hoping that there's people watching and there's certain structures that set up by the RNC to help us like not lose. And if that worked out, and I'm looking to see if it worked out and the data that they're collecting is right, and we don't see no hurt on there. And I'm trying to see how much do you guys know what's going on, or are you subjected to what is going on because it's been told to you by the enemy? Like you're letting Democrats tell you if early voting calculations is this amount percentage for the Democrats, this amount percentage for the Republicans, this amount percentage for the independent, or do you have people that are watching the earlier votes, that are looking into the counting of the earlier votes, that are actually organizing the early vote? Do we have Republicans in there that's validating the numbers that they're actually seeing and it's not been corrupt? What's the response on any of this? Because right now you're just as good as me looking at Real Clear Politics and the newscastings and everything like that, and then I'm reverting what I think that means and stuff. That's bad. If that's what we relying on you for, we're in trouble. We're in trouble, dude.
And we just kind of schlep around and, we have like a 1.9 million person turnout and we lose. That's that simple, Steve. So I understand all the talking about the cheating and all this. This is in our ability to win. It is a turnout operation, which means we must increase the volume and we must make the Richter scale shake. It's that simple. And if Pennsylvania has 3 million of our faithful, 3 million of our people, the numbers are really good, Steve. I'm not going to say we're going to win because anything can happen. But what you dream of elections like this. I got to go in a sec, Steve. You dream of an election where you don't have to convince voters and all you have to do is turn out your people. Steve, can you emphasize that for the audience? This is a match made in heaven. Usually you're like, I got to win over suburban women and I hope that people. No. It's about just getting your people to go vote. It's the easiest thing possible.
This is the fight we always wanted. This is just about turnout. The conversation's over, and it looks like we got enough. We've cornered them on the blue wall. We got to deliver. You got to close Georgia. You got to close Arizona. You got to close Nevada. You got to close North Carolina. We must close those, and that's all about Tuesday. But then we got her cornered up in the blue wall. Charlie, social media. We're going to have you back on throughout the weekend. You're on fire. Yeah, 6 events today. These are super chasing events. These are they're no rallies. These are all super chasing.
Okay, so I just wanted to kind of show some of that stuff. I don't even know what they're talking about here. It's insane. Okay. Look, this is what it's supposed to look like for Trump. Okay, he's supposed to win. We're going to only go over the swing states. He's supposed to win from Michigan. He's supposed to win Wisconsin. He's supposed to win Pennsylvania. He's supposed to win Georgia. He's supposed to win Arizona and Nevada. So he's pretty much calculated to in the real, true, good data that's not, because it's postings that's coming out that they're polling Democrats more than they're polling Republicans. So it's giving her a 2 to 3% bump in it, but that's because they didn't poll the equal amount of people to give a good algorithm for the amount. But the ones that are doing it and it's consistent for months, this is the outcome that we're supposed to be seeing. Okay, so he's supposed to get up to like 312 electoral votes. He's supposed to win. Only reason why if he doesn't win like that is because he relied on Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, and the RNC felt him. That's the only reason. So hopefully he's slowing himself down to look at the data. But Elon Musk is doing everything he can. He putting his life on the line.
Without a teleprompter, that's crazy.
But if he loses, it's going to be hard for you to pretend you never supported him.
All in. In the deep end.
Yeah, no, you are definitely in the deep end. You cannot touch bottom.
It's all in, baby.
Is it fun?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
How hard?
I mean, there may be some, in the hopefully unlikely event that he loses, there may be some vengeance on me.
Were you kidding?
I mean, it's possible.
You've got to be one of the biggest government contractors.
We do essential work for the government.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not like, we do useful, essential work that we compete for and win contracts on because our product is much better and costs less. That's why we get government contracts.
No, I know.
And I mean, if you take, for example, the NASA contract to transport astronauts to and from the space station, NASA awarded 2 contracts at the start, one to Boeing and one to SpaceX. Boeing was awarded twice as much as SpaceX. SpaceX has done all the astronaut transport from the space station, and Boeing has only done one transport of 2 astronauts to the space station, and we had to bring them back. Boeing got twice as much as SpaceX. There's this total misunderstanding that my companies have been subsidized and supported by the government and get all these, and it's like, do you really think that a Biden administration is going to subsidize me?
Probably not.
Are you kidding? No. In fact, they take away every contract they possibly can. So, for example, there was the FCC contract to $42 billion for providing rural broadband.
Yes.
Okay. We actually first said, look, we think there shouldn't be any subsidies, so we recommend that this program just not exist. But since you're insisting that it exists, we will compete, and we have better products. So we won, I don't know, about a quarter of it, which would have included the devastated areas like North Carolina and stuff. And the FCC took it away illegally. They just voted. 3 out of 5 commissioners voted away and said, even though you want it, we're rescinding it.
On what grounds?
And do you know how many people they've connected?
How many?
0.
So you think that was political?
Well, the 3 Democrats voted against it, and the 2 Republicans voted for it.
So you tried to get Starlink.
Yes.
Into North Carolina, into Western North Carolina, the areas devastated by the hurricane.
We have got it is in there, and it is the primary means of communication in the devastated areas.
So, but back to the original question, about the potential consequences if, having gone all in, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to have thought about this long and hard before you did it. What was your thinking?
I mean, Yeah, so I mean, my view is that if Trump doesn't win this election, it's the last election we're going to have. That the Democrats, the Dem machine, has been importing so many people, bringing in so many illegals, flying in with this like CBP border app thing that nobody even knew about, like secret program. That's illegal, basically. It's illegal, but there's no action by the DOJ to actually to stop it from happening.
Absolutely.
They're transporting large numbers of illegals to swing states. If you look at the numbers, these are the numbers from the government website. So like from the Democrat-administered government websites. Like, where do you get this data? From the government website that is run by Democrats. Yeah. And there are triple-digit increases in illegals to all the swing states. And in some cases, it's like 700% over the last 3 years. Now, these swing state margins are, sometimes 10, 20,000 votes. So what happens if you put, hundreds of thousands of people into each swing state? And when somebody is granted asylum, they are fast-tracked. They can get a green card, and then 5 years after the green card, they can get citizenship and they can fully legally vote. And when they do so, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. And sometimes I get this rebuttal of like, well, a lot of them, their social values don't align with sort of the far left sort of woke ideology. Yeah. I said, that's true, but that's not their top priority. Their top priority is getting their friends and family also to the United States. And the Dems also issue all these programs, these sort of handouts, essentially, that make them beholden to the Democratic Party. So they vote Dem. That's what happens. So my prediction is if there's another 4 years of a Dem administration, they will legalize so many illegals that are there that the next election, there won't be any swing states. And it will be a single-party country, just like California is a single-party state.
Absolutely.
That's a supermajority Dem state in California.
Because of immigration?
Yes.
Has it improved the state?
No, it's not. And California just passed, which is shocking. It's hard to believe this is even real. But California just passed a law making it illegal to require voter ID in any election at all in California.
Have they extended this same...
Actually what's going on right now. By the way, they're proud of it. They're not hiding it.
But it's only voting. It's not buying a gun or buying liquor or buying a pack of cigarettes or flying on an airplane or renting a hotel room. It's only voting that it's illegal.
Oh, if you try to buy a gun, I mean, they're going to ID you 6 ways a Sunday. Yeah, California's trying to make it basically illegal to own a gun. Mm-hmm. And the same people that demanded vaccine IDs for if you want to travel or do anything are the same ones who say no voter ID is required.
Is there any reason
obviously hypocritical
to pass a law like that except to abet voter fraud?
It's so that fraud cannot be proven. So it enables large scale fraud and no way to prove it, because how would you prove it? It's literally impossible.
Yeah.
No ID. You're not even allowed to show.
And that's what's going on with our country. I just want you guys to see that real quick, and because Elon Musk putting it on the line, Trump is putting it on the line, and I'm not saying that Charlie Kirk, he hasn't done a lot. I just don't think, I don't know what he did that was for what he was supposed to be doing. And I'm just trying to figure out what is that? How did he help on the ground? Because all he does is go on his talk show, go on Steve Bannon and have Steve Bannon, and all they do is bitch and moan about us going out to do 200 people, go talk to 10 people. No, where's your ground game? You think the Democrats got people that they asking on Twitter or Facebook or in their rallies and stuff, go out and find somebody to vote. They do that part of the conversation that they having on part of their speech, but they not relying on that. They got people out there. They got millions of people out there. They said that they knocked on 14 million doors, talked to 14 million people, and they made 700,000 calls. They out there doing it physically. What the hell are y'all doing? It's ridiculous. Look, I just wanted to come on and get my point of view on this. I'm going to come back in and do a couple more episodes because I'm behind in a couple of stuff. But I just, Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, it's time for y'all to tell us the data of what you've been doing since January to now. Because I'm almost confident I'm about to I'm about to spend my podcast life been in opposition. You get what I'm saying? Because why? Because we're just, the country's dead. We don't win this, it's dead. It's dead, and it is dead because all the people told Trump, do this, Trump. Do this, Trump. Yeah, I think you should do this, Trump. He did all the things you guys asked for. He gave in to y'all. He did it y'all way, but additionally, the things that he wanted to execute on, he did it. But all that get out the vote and what the narrative should be and what fights he should fight, he was kind of allowing y'all to speak to him and play a factor to how he conduct himself so he can get the white suburban woman vote, a vote that he should have never spent any time trying to get. You come. You come. If it makes sense for you to come, you come. If you don't, it don't make sense for you to come. I'm not going to fight for something. We talking about women here. You can't con women to do anything. They gotta come. They gotta see that they gotta feel that it's the most perfect scenario for them. Women are extremely culturally white, black, Asians, all I know it for sure. They all disobedient. They all on some crazy feminist stuff. Even when they don't want to be. They think and move against their best interests. The only way we shake this up is we show them exactly what modern men patriotic system is, where we stop the bleeding of stupid stuff, destructive behaviors, destructive to our families and our loved ones and the relationships between men and women and stuff. It's it's like a grenade. It's so blown up and sporadically scattered all over the place. We gotta bring some sense to this stuff. Only way we can do that is we have to take back leadership. We have to dominate, not women. We talking about the world. We have to put Trump in there. And if they don't see no value in that, then they're going for a total destruction. They're going for the opposite of it. So what is it to get Trump back into the office? What is it for your man to take leadership approach back, a dominance back, a man being masculine and taking dominance over the way that he sees things? What is that? What is that? That's stability. That's a structural relationship, a structural country, a structural world. And all we've been seeing for the last 40, 50 years, we've been letting women have autonomy over themselves, letting them have command, letting them level up and letting them becoming a part of the workforce and administration force and be majorly hands into all the money world parts of the business and companies and structures and stuff like that. They've been making a ton of money. And what's been happening? What's been happening? Women have been depressed and they regretting their life decisions and all kind of dark depression stuff, and they got everything that they wanted. We're giving you unlimited abortion. 44 million abortions in our country since 1970 to now. 26 million of that is from black people. We've been giving you unlimited ways, and that's not the birth control pill. That's not the morning after pill. This is straight like extractions, abortions. So we've been letting y'all do like probably 50 to 60 million babies getting aborted. Citizens of America's been aborted. We've been letting y'all do whatever y'all want. And y'all are pissed, angry, and upset, talking about, oh, I want a real alpha man. No, you don't, because he ain't going to let you be as dumb as you are and move how dumb you been moving. He going to want something more stable than that, more thoughtful than that. You don't want no alpha male. You get what I'm saying? Like, even me, I'm not no punk. I'm not no beta. But I do kind of give a deference to women and how they want to live their life and decision they want to make. And I let them do it. But But I'm telling you, it's been a bad thing. It's not been good. It's not been good. It's not been smart. So even for me, I'm adjusting, saying, nope, no more. No more of this. This ain't good for you. Definitely ain't good for me. We got to stop it and we got to move forward with some kind of stable situation so we can live a comfortable life and live some kind of prosperity, a life of prosperity for ourselves and our own families. Trump is for, I always say, it's two people that you're voting for. You're voting for Trump in order for you to have a stable and financially prosperity for your family, you and your family. You vote for Kamala because she's the first woman president, not because she's smart. All the stuff she took all of Trump's records, all the things that he said he's going to do, they put it in their own words and they actually threw it back at y'all, and y'all are voting for her conservative views that she adopted from his campaign, and that's crazy. That's crazy. Like I really haven't forgiven my friends or family for not voting for Trump in 2020. You think I'm gonna play this shit in 2024? No, because you're going against my come up now. I need people to start interacting with each other. I'm talking about business people, financial institutions. Right now, it's every man for himself, and we have millionaires and people that are leveling up, picking on our bones. They're distracted. They're extracting money from us, and they're waiting till we get so destitute so they can come and swoop in and pick off whatever the value that we have. That's what's going on right now. It's every man for themselves society right now. People are not exchanging goods and services. They're not doing it. It's every man for themselves. It's a self-preservation culture. That's what the economic structure of Biden and Kamala did for 4 years. That's why it's going on like this. So if you want to do another 4 years like this, you vote for another 4 years like this, I'm taking the opposition to you forever. Forever. Okay? Because I think our side's a little bit too soft, really. Okay? Speak to you guys on the next episode.